Greetings Panadians, and welcome to another 6-star event video. In this video, I'll be going over Chapter 2 and how to go about tackling its challenges. From what I've read in the overview and Chapter 1 guide video comment sections, I have seen that people would like me to talk a little bit slower, so I will not do that. Speed of zoom zoom talk for all my videos. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna make at least a small attempt. No promises though. As with Chapter 1, Chapter 2 also lasts for 21 days, ranging from August 9th and ends on the 29th of August, which gives us a fair amount of time to get this all done. For Chapter 2, I will not be going over the daily missions, but instead I'll be putting them in the comment sections like I did for Chapter 1's guide, due to unreleased and limited information, as the patch notes say each chapter will have their own themed missions. And for some reason, Chapter 2 daily missions were not included unless it's just poor wording and those daily missions are shared, and it was just talking about the chapter mission specifically. Either way, please refer to the pinned comments once more information is released. As for the chapter missions, you're gonna love these. The first mission requires you to fuse any level 120 plus item that has a potential, specifically whether or not the potential has to be on an item before or after it's been fused. That I'm not too sure based on the wording of the patch notes. The answer for this will be pinned in the comment section below when Chapter 2 arrives, and I will do my best to test it immediately when Chapter 2 arrives. This challenge requires you to do a total of 100 fuses while meeting the requirements. Completing the challenge will result in giving you a trait boost potion. Second challenge requires you to use the transfer hammer feature. This requires you to use it a total of 30 times, which will give you a total of 20 nodes as a reward. The third challenge requires you to get a special node when opening Nodestones. You gotta get a total of 30 of these. Completing this challenge will give you 10 extreme growth potions. The fourth challenge requires you to craft a node from the V matrix, crafting a total of 100, specifically the node skills or boosts, not the actual Nodestones. Completing this challenge will reward you with 50 arcane symbol selector coupons. The fifth challenge requires you to disassemble a node from the V matrix. You need to disassemble a total of 300 nodes. Completing this will reward you with 100 appraisal magnifying glasses that reveal potential for free. The sixth challenge requires you to fail Starforcing 300 times. Completing this challenge will reward you with 1 Karma Starforce 12-star enhancement scroll. The seventh challenge requires you to succeed in 10 consecutive Starforce enhancements on one item. This mission comes with a restriction that requires you to use an item that is a level 110 or above, so try your best to go from 0 to 10 without fail, not like there's a 3% chance or something. Completing this challenge will reward you with 10 eternal Karma Rebirth Flames. The eighth challenge requires you to Starforce while using the Starcatch function. This challenge essentially wants you to use Starforcing with the Starcatch function, and you have to succeed 100 times. As for the rewards, the regular server gets 5 10% pure clean slate scrolls, while Reboot gets 15 meso pouches. The ninth challenge requires you to reach 22 stars on one item. Yeah, good luck. Not like we totally didn't burn all of our savings in the previous Starforce event. Jesus Christ. The 10th and final challenge for Chapter 2 requires you to achieve Meister level profession. For this challenge, it does not matter which of the 3 professions you reach Meister in, and you can actually auto-complete this challenge by already being Meister before Chapter 2 arrives. The reward for this challenge gives you an event labeled chat ring selector coupon. As with Chapter 1 and all the other chapters, you will need to complete a total of 10 daily missions and 5 chapter challenges in order to receive the chapter's rewards. Here are the ones that I feel are the easiest, and no, I am not taking the rewards into consideration. This is just what I find the easiest in order to get the chapter's rewards. The first one is to achieve Meister Profession. This one is the easiest, as any character you have that already has a Meister level profession will automatically complete this challenge. If you don't have one done already, there are plenty of guides out there. In my opinion, you should aim to complete either Blacksmith or Alchemy, as those are fairly easy compared to accessory crafting. I'll provide a guide made by a fellow Beam Brigader named Elysia Faust. Sorry if I butchered her name, Mimi. Don't kill me, please. The link to said guide will be in the description. The second challenge I recommend you complete is the one that requires you to use the transfer hammer function, as this one only requires the use of said function 30 times. You can literally just go to any town that has an armor or weapon store, buy a bunch of level 10 and 20 items of the same category, and just give the lower level item 1 star and transfer it over to the level 20 gear item, and simply repeat this a total of 30 times. The third challenge I recommend is to fuse a level 120 item that has potential or comes out with potential. Once again, the answer to this will be in the pinned comments below when we get that answer. Doing this a total of 100 times regardless of which way the potential item is supposed to be won't be too difficult, but it would just require a bit of spamming. If the potential needs to be one of the starting 2 items, simply make sure that the 2 items at the start have the potential to guarantee a potential item comes out. If that's what the outcome of the mission needs. I really wish I had the answer for you guys, but unfortunately I will have to resort to leaving it in the pinned comment section below once the chapter comes out or patch notes clarify. The 4th challenge I recommend is to succeed in Starcatching while Starforcing. This is an easy one as you will only need to successfully Starforce something with Starcatch, so I recommend you grab a bunch of random gear that can get 10 stars and attempt to Starforce while using Starcatch to try and also double tap on the other challenge that requires you to succeed in Starforcing something 10 times in a row without fail. Unfortunately, the 5, 10, 15 Starforce event we will be getting during this patch will not be during Chapter 2's release, so do not plan on waiting for it as it won't be here in time. For the 5th one, there's a little bit of an issue. Since there's not many easy ones or cheap ones to include for the 5th, I'll be listing out a few and on how to complete them and let you choose as I feel my opinion on which is easy/cheap is biased as I can afford them. One of these that you consider doing is to fail Starforcing 300 times. This one you can simply do by spamming a bunch of penciler gear, or alternatively you can spam open your Cygnus item tokens or extra Chaos Rubis tokens you don't need anymore and just keep spamming the Starforce over and over. Try and keep it below level 140 but above 130 in order to be able to have an item that can go from 15 to 20 to fail more. That, and to keep the cost low as this one is going to be inherently expensive. The only other challenge I can sort of recommend is if you have the nodes and character to work on, you can complete the Disassemble 300 nodes challenge, as opening that many nodes and more might actually complete the obtain 30 special nodes challenge and would end up leading you to the crafting 200 nodes challenge. Remember, for this option, you do not have to do them on a singular characters, so scavenge your other characters for nodes you can craft and with leftover shards or disassemble nodes you don't use or are not planning to use. The Chapter 2 rewards are the following. The first of which is a Chapter 2 EXP potion, which is essentially just another reskinned growth potion 2 that gives a free level from level 200 to 220. The second item is 1200 nodes to help you recoup the amount you spent to get the chapter rewards. Third one is a Dominator pendant box that gives you a fake Dominator pendant that you can only reflame. Still good for mules though. The fourth item is a special trait boost potion. The fifth is a 100% Karma bonus epic potential scroll for regular servers and a 100% Karma unique potential scroll for reboot. And lastly, a Radiant Star Pop mount coupon that gives you a permanent mount. Okay, so assuming you have 300 nodes to just open and then extract them, we'll just use that as a base scenario for my math. Just for the sake of the scenario, we'll assume that we do not get any special nodes, just so we get a worst case scenario for the other challenges in terms of progressing those challenges as a side perk. So, opening 300 total and assuming they're all regular boost nodes, 300 boost nodes will result in 3,000 shards as boost nodes are extracted for 10 points each. So 10 times 300 equals 3,000. Since we've extracted all 300 in this scenario, that's that challenge completed. With those 3,000 shards, if we only craft skill boost nodes and not 5th job nodes, not that crafting those skill nodes will be better as they're more expensive, so that's a non-factor, we can craft 42 total from the initial 300 opened. Assuming you don't use those skill boost nodes, you can get a further 420 shards by extracting them, which will further be crafted into 6 more, which will result in a total of 42 plus 6 equals 48 out of 200 nodes needed to be crafted for the 200 node craft challenge. So, with all that was being said, and to avoid any potential confusion with all that has been explained, to put it simply, if you open 300 nodes to extract, the worst case scenario will result in 48 out of 200 nodes crafted for the 200 node craft challenge, assuming you don't use any of those nodes to level up other nodes. With that being said, 300 at its worst will result in 48 out of 200 crafted. Now, accounting for RNG, we can probably assume that you can now do the following, given the before mentioned variables we have now. 300 nodes opened at its worst will result in 3,000 shards total. Each skill boost node needed to be crafted costs 70 shards each, so therefore 70 times 200 equals 14,000 shards needed in total. So, 14,000 shards needed divided by 3,000 will result in 4.667, then multiply 4.667 by 300 will equal 1,400 nodes in the worst case scenario. So we can probably play it safe and lowball this to, accounting for special and skill boost nodes that we may get, I would place the total estimate to complete the 200 node crafted challenge will be anywhere from 1,200 to 1,300 total nodes. As Chapter 2's rewards entail 1,200 nodes upon completing said chapter, you can safely assume you will get your Nodestones back, but only at the net positive of the challenge rewards, which quite frankly doesn't seem to be worth it in my opinion. Unfortunately, there are too many variables to go over for those who do not have the nodes to complete these challenges for the overall 5 challenge missions needed for Chapter 2, as well as those who need the nodes to use, rather than actually extract solely for the sake of the challenge, rather than progressing your characters. The only thing I can say is to give you a scenario will be the following. 1. Potentially, if you have the mules available, scrape any remaining shards you have on your mules that can yet to be crafted into nodes. Do so to get as many nodes crafted as you can without using any actual Nodestones. 2. Ignore all of this as this would potentially not be worth it at its most, if not all Nodestones related challenges are not even worth the rewards in proportion to what it's going to be cost for most of the general population in the game. And lastly, 3. To sort of continue from the previous note I made, the 5 or so challenges I recommend you do for the base Chapter 2 rewards will result into 1200 node rewards that can potentially be used to complete the node related challenges. To be honest, I feel like no one should actively go after these rewards as the cost to reward ratio doesn't seem worth it in the end, and are not really needed to complete the 5 challenge missions requirements for the Chapter 2 rewards anyways, as the previous node challenge would be far easier in my opinion. And remember, this is just my opinion and analysis of what I've done for this chapter. Proceed through this chapter as you would like, but heed what I've said to help you take the actions you feel will be best for you. Hello, Peanut here again. Like with my last video, if there are anything that is incorrect or inaccurate once the patch notes and or content is released due to my poor understanding of the wording in the resources we're given, I'll be leaving those corrections in a pinned comment. So, if I happen to miss something, please feel free to let me know in the comments so I can actually make the corrections and put in the pinned comments so others are made aware of these as well. Lastly, if you found this helpful, perhaps leave a like or subscribe as I'll be working on more guides for the later chapters once they're announced, and for future videos I'll be working on later on. And with that, I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye!